Welcome Coyote fans, this is Paul Ferris, and this is a video I'm basically going to post for Skylar Berkheimer. This is me basically tuning the fuel pressure to my 2000 GT with the Coyote Illuminator. As it sits right now, it's at 58 PSI. When I drove it last night, I found still had a little bit lacking fuel pressure, so we're going to crank her up to 62. So that requires the car to be running, and it requires a not to be running, but be zero vacuum on the fuel pump, fuel regulator, and here we go. So as it sits right now, I don't know if you can see it. We're looking at 58 PSI roughly on the fuel pump, and I'm going to crank it to 60, maybe 62, somewhere in that range. See if I can find a spot for this GoPro where we can get a good view. You can hear the fuel pressure running in the car. Get a little bit more of an eye level. This guy. And a 17mm wrench. To raise the fuel pressure, I've been going to the right. You kind of hear more fuel being rejected. Ford recommends 55 PSI at zero vacuum, which is where we're at right now. As you can see, we're at roughly 60. So let's stop there because I'm kind of going incremental here. I know I was having trouble with the car running properly, and that camera right there. Hold this sits. Doesn't have to be massively tight, just tight enough to hold the set screw. I'm driving around with a lot of tools in my car for just such an occasion, but as you can imagine, you know, a lot of this is there's not necessarily a way to do it. You just do what you think is going to work. And now here's the exhaust portion. Skylar, when he cranked his fuel pressure up, had a lot of vapor, and I'm not sure what that was all about. I had mine at 58 just now, and unfortunately, all you could see was the car getting started. You couldn't hear jack because I had the GoPro that I'm recording with mounted in its, it's like a bulletproof, waterproof container, and I'm like, no sound. Anyways, here we go. smell a little bit of fuel, but I was smelling fuel before. So I'd actually have to measure parts per million in the atmosphere. The car is definitely still dialing in because I've been changing too much. I'll probably pull the battery to get it to reset its learning curve. Let's do a quick shot of the engine bay. Some of the other more funny stuff is going on here. I got all my wiring dialed in except for one aftermarket gauge, and the tachometer. Got my reverse lockout solenoid working on my T56. When I pull up on the e-brake, I can put it in reverse really easily. Takes some getting used to, but it's the right thing to do. I didn't want to have it using any combination of floor pedals because it would just basically negate the idea of a solenoid for keeping you from going in reverse. What else to tell you? Oh, the exhaust that you just heard was a Bassani X-pipe hooked to the Ford stock headers that come on a Coyote, and a MagnaFlow catback. And that's a Coyote illuminator that I bought in 2012 that you heard running. Oh, the flywheel is a low-weight Ford Racing flywheel, so it's like half the weight of a normal flywheel. And I can't think of anything else to tell you there. If you want to know more, you can go to my blog. It's that's http://Coyotify COYOTIFY.com. There's a blog and a forum. You want to go to the blog to get some idea about what the car's doing. I typically post my videos and comments and thoughts there. And again, thanks for tuning in, and catch you on the